just Paul Brown Stadium. Just like you said, I'm a hard 5-1-3 Bengal fan, but you about to trample all over me, sacks and all that. Nah, Spring will be in the ocean.
All right. Big, you had some deep sea fishing, catch a big marlin, toss you out there, something like
bury
that.
me a butt. I'm serious.
All right, well, there we go. We got two non-sports venue answers, so.
Quarterback is literally the most important position.
I understand
But
that.
he's not sold on Russ, so why aren't you sold on Russ? Tell me that. Last 2 years?
Is it because of
Man.
Pete Carroll?
I mean, it
He's
hasn't
been
been.
He got us
slumping.
thinking DK really that dude.
Russ does not look like
I
himself
think he
for the last
relied
3 seasons.
more on that Legion of Boom defense, and then he's going to do the same
early
thing here
on,
in
of
Denver.
course.
What has he done with what Tyler Lockett? Like, I mean, what has he really done
People
to
know who Tyler
solidify
Lockett is
himself?
because of us.
I'm not sold on, man. I mean, y'all want to go high
I
on
mean, he
Russ?
made the playoffs his first 8 years in a row. He won, 10 games a season every year for the first 6, 7 seasons or something, like things that
He's a
nobody's
winner,
ever
man.
done. Welcome to another edition of That's Debatable. My name is Ryan Dietrich, here with my guys, Jeremiah Bays, Will Ward, AD behind the desk. As always, thank you for tuning in. Live here from Yamo Media Studios in Columbus, Ohio. Lots going on today. We're going to get right after it. Mainly, I want to mention it's college football bowl week. Games start on Friday. The Ohio Bobcats kick it off. At 11:30 they play. I want to invite all of you to join the That's Debatable Capital One Bowl Mania group on ESPN.com. Get in there. Challenge yourselves. Go toe-to-toe with us. Test your college football acumen. ESPN.com. Capital One Bowl Mania. The group is That's Debatable. We'll come up with some prize, but I've been getting excited as always. 35-odd bowl games on the slate. We were just talking about the Buckeyes in Ohio State taking on Georgia New Year's Eve. Those tickets are like $400. I thought they'd be a little bit pricier, but I just saw that come across the news. And, Will, you just mentioned, looks like Travion Henderson is going to be out for the Buckeyes for that game. Big news there, but, next man up is how we roll.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be hopefully we still have Mayan Williams. We know he was battling injuries, but like you said, next man up. They still got time to prepare for it. So it shouldn't be a scare factor. It would be different if we was coming into the last week before the game, but we still got about 2 weeks. So hopefully Coach Day and the rest of his staff is going to make sure that, he's coming in with his best hand, because you can't come in just with a lackluster type of game plan. You got Georgia coming up. So I'm prepared and believe that they're going to be ready for that game.
Yep, down in Atlanta. Mercedes-Benz Dome.
Almost another home game for that team.
Yeah, that's another thing to definitely think about. Bring up a good point. Ohio fans travel, though.
travel well.
I mean,
We will see the Buckeye guy. Will he be happy or sad? That's the question. Or, that's debatable. Here's my thing. I've been receiving some flack a little bit about my strong opinion on the dog or the quarterback, C.J. Stroud, a.k.a. Coleridge Bernard the fourth.
there you go.
Yeah, real names. It's just I gotta see it. I know he's talented, obviously, but I just gotta see you go out there and get it done. We've lost every award. We didn't. Marv didn't get the Biletnikoff. He didn't get no Heisman love. The team is getting disrespected. Like, I hope we feel the disrespect, and I hope we could turn that disrespect into, motivation, fire. Like, they counting us out. They really count y'all out. Like I said last week, it's not that I'm counting us out, but I can't count us win until I see a win. I can't count us in until I see a win, and I just got to see it. Just go out there and perform. Even if we lose, just lay it all out on the line and, field goals, whatever the case may be. But I just hope they feel the disrespect and we go out there and perform.
Dude, I like that. Use that as motivation for sure. Yeah, definitely Ohio State overlooked on a lot of the awards, but they got to show up and prove it. And, yeah, I'm with you there, CJ's got a ton of talent. We just need to see it. And I'm excited to see it. A couple weeks to wait, so hopefully them Buckeyes are getting some planning in. As we look forward to that, we're going to stick in the world of college football. Some sad news today. We heard that, Mike Leach passed away at the age of 61 years old. Suffered a heart attack the other night. Was emergency flight for life to the local hospital and unfortunately passed away. Mike Leach was a legend, and he brought he was a genuine guy. I feel like he was very natural and off the cuff in a world of, college football where they, coach speak. They always just say the same thing. They don't give you a lot of insight, it seems. He was very honest, open, genuine. If you've got a minute, jump on YouTube and look up some of the Mike Leach interviews, highlights. He did a 60 Minutes with him. Just a lot of classic interviews from the guy. So, way too soon, 61 years old. And his impact on the game is immense. Lincoln Riley comes from his coaching tree. Lincoln Riley having the last few Heisman Trophy winners. Sonny Dykes coached under him. Sonny Dykes, as you know, TCU's head coach who just won Coach of the Year. And he really pioneered that air raid offense. College football today is what it is, largely in part of him and that air raid offense. He started at Texas Tech, 60 attempts a weekend, no more triple option, stuff like that. He had a lot to do with that. So, sad news, but, there's a lot of good content out there from Mike Leach. To go back and remember the man. There you go. One of my favorite tweets from him. He was always cracking jokes, always laughing. That's one thing that I liked about him. Brought a lot of laughter and honesty to the game. Believe in yourself even when no one else will. Sasquatch.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I liked about Coach Leach was his candid interviews, his post-game interviews. I mean, he has some of the best sound bites that, you can have. Not just the negative rants about how the games went, but it was stuff to, uplift and cheer up the crowd and the reporters and all things like that. So, prayers go out to Coach Leach's family and cherish life, folks, because you're here today, going tomorrow. Coach was just giving a couple of interviews last week, and, some people can't call him anymore. So that shows you just, cherish life a little bit more.
That's right. Call your parents. All right, other big news today. World Cup is going on, the most watched sporting event in the world. I caught a little bit of it just because that's what I was doing this afternoon. Perfect timing. There's a good graphic from our guy. I am Sigorsk on Twitter. But there it is. There's where the standings stand right now. Argentina defeats Croatia today 3-0. Argentina moves into the finals, and they await the winner of France and Morocco. France and Morocco play at 2 p.m. tomorrow on Fox. France is the favorite, but Morocco's been an exciting surprise. The finals will be Sunday at 9 a.m. And the big thing is, obviously Lionel Messi, arguably the greatest soccer player ever. He's still looking for his first and only World Cup. He's like 35 years old, so thinking this is his last World Cup, his best shot at it. And they're looking good, looking like a man on a mission. So Croatia, another good, exciting story to come out of that. They just could not hang with Argentina. Argentina put it on them, winning 3-0. and they'll look to play France and Morocco tomorrow. So there it is, your updates today. Those are kind of the latest headlines, the latest going on. We're going to keep it local, though. Columbus, Ohio, and the Ohio State Buckeyes. We're talking Lady Bucks basketball and the men's basketball squads.
Still undefeated.
Lady Bucks are undefeated, 10-0. And they have, I'll have to look it up real quick who they're playing. But they are third in the country, number 1 in the Big Ten at 10-0. And the Ohio State men's basketball team, they are number 23 in the latest AP poll. Buckeyes are 7-2. They are third in the Big Ten. Indiana's number 14, and surprisingly, Big Ten opponent Purdue is sitting at number 1 in the country after Houston went down last week in a tough loss. I also saw Money Mac put $1 million bet on Houston to win the NCAA title.
Tough. My damn Tar Heels done fell all the way out with all these losses that they done did. Jesus Christ.
Yep, and they dropped out of the top
25. Started the season, preseason polls number 1, coming into the season, and they fall out in the first 2 weeks.
Oh, that's what else I meant to bring up. If you guys saw the Ohio State buzzer beater over the weekend, Ohio State beat Rutgers in Rutgers. I think that was on Friday, 67-66 with a last-second buzzer beater. And the Buckeyes got away with one. Sometimes things just go in your favor. The guy ran out of bounds, came back inbounds, was the first player to touch the ball. You cannot do that.
You know, I never knew that was one of the rules in basketball. I for sure knew that was one in football, but you learn something new every week, huh?
Do, right? So, yeah, sneak away with a win there. But, hey, it keeps the Buckeyes in the top 25 at number 23.
7-10, looking good.
They are playing well. That Justice Suing is coming along. Let's see the next big game the Buckeyes have. Speaking of North Carolina, next Saturday, the 17th, the Tar Heels come into town.
Into town?
Yep. The CBS Sports Classic.
I might have to
6-4 North Carolina taking on the 7-2 Buckeyes. Buckeyes 61% chance to win.
Say your money, Bass.
Why?
Hey, man, I know that's your team, but, I mean,
you got to go watch them, right?
I'm still a Buckeye supporter, too.
Oh, that's true. I was hoping you
Dislike
want to
Ohio
go
State Buckeye.
looking to see the Tar Heels, but
I mean, we could get a dub, either or.
it's possible.
All right, anybody
They
without
just need to get it
tickets there,
together.
hit
We
us
still
up.
got the best guards in the country, Caleb Love and R.J. Davis. I mean, you know, when it come tournament time, that's what really matters. I still haven't watched the game to figure out why we losing, so I just know that we've lost some ugly games, some close games. One of the games went into, like, quadruple overtime.
Let's see a spread yet.
Like the game with Alabama. I don't know.
Right, but
It's what it is.
something to keep an eye on there. Good basketball here in Columbus. There's always good basketball here in Columbus. And I'll mention a couple other things that we got going on here at the Yamo Media Network. Speaking of good basketball, there it is. The Battle in the 614 Girls Showcase. Some of the best high school girl basketball players around the state will be here at Ohio Dominican University on Saturday. This will be broadcast on the Yamo Media Sports Network. Go to yamomedia.com to purchase your viewing package. You can catch all 7 of those games. Will and I will be calling a few of those early morning games. But again, yamomedia.com to purchase the viewing package for the Battle in the 614 Girls Showcase, December 17th, this Saturday at Ohio Dominican University. And then that night, the Play-by-Play Classic. There's a bunch going on at Nationwide Arena. This is high school boys basketball. Sierra Canyon and LeBron's kid are going to be in town taking on his alma mater, St. Vincent St. Mary. I heard Scottie Pippen's going to be there. Another bunch of other big names. So definitely another thing to look forward to this weekend. And the other one I'll mention is the Ohio Bruins quickly. Saturday evening, I will be on the call with the Ohio Bruins live at Northside Christian High School here in Columbus. And again, you can go to yamomedia.com/Ohio-Bruins to purchase the Ohio Bruins season viewing package. You can catch all their games and past games on there. So yamomedia.com for all your local sports. That's a hookup. That's what we got here.
don't sleep on those Ohio Bruins, ladies and gentlemen. Had the pleasure to call with my man Ryan this past Saturday, and it was a pretty decent game. The Naptown pros that came into town, and those Ohio Bruins really took care of business. So if you're looking for something to do on a Saturday evening, it's a low cost. You maybe can't get down to Nationwide. Hey, take the kids over and check out some good basketball by the Ohio Bruins.
Dude, yep. Yeah, they get up and down the court. They've got some athletes, some shooters. It's some pretty good basketball.
Yeah, high scoring, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it's not just an old defensive game. Right. It's a lot of you're up close and personal. You can hear the chatter from the players. Yep. So, hey, shout out to those guys that's over there playing hard.
Yep, they can get pretty live. There's some nice highlights from the Bruins and Aviators the other day. Like he said, 96-84 up there at the beginning of the fourth. And they can get, like I said, they can get up. There's some athletes, man. There's some nice alley-oops, a lot of dunking back and forth. It's a good time. So come join us Saturday, Northside Christian High School for the Ohio Bruins.
See from the clip there's plenty of seats left.
Yep. Got that right. Okay, local stuff, that does it, man. I'm excited for the Lady Bucks to keep going. South Carolina #1, Stanford 2. So good to have the girls in there. All right, we're going to the big boys in the NFL. That's what we like to do around
yes,
here.
sir.
Will's got his welcome to the jungle. He's riding high.
Hey, man.
Man.
5-game win streak, 7 out of the last 8. What more can we ask for except for continue to keep riding and get ready for the Super Bowl, man? We coming. Not like my man Prime, but we coming.
You'll like this nugget I heard today. Teams after playing the San Francisco 49ers, the following week, they're 1-11 against the spread. Anyway, 1-11 against the spread.
Yeah.
So you got Tampa Bay, who just got demolished by San Francisco, coming into the house to take on the Bengals.
Yeah.
Jump on them Bengals. I think they're -3.5 right now. Take it because they should smoke them.
Gonna win that. Definitely think that.
It's in Tampa Bay, so I mean, but we're gonna focus on week 13 or 14
talk
first.
About 14 real quick. So lead it off. We're talking about them Bengals. Deshaun looked okay-ish, I guess.
Nah, he was who we thought he was. He came out looking better than he did against Houston, but it was still not what he's trying to come back into the league and do. One of the things that always was a Achilles heel to Cincinnati was the production of Mr. I'm drawing a blank on his name because I really don't care, but yeah, you know his name, Nick Chubb. But they was able to hold him down. They was able to continue to that defense was able to play stout and keep him under 50 yards. No touchdowns, I don't believe he had. One of the things that Cincinnati has to continue to hold steady on is that secondary getting a little bit better. Joe Burrow was able to get a dub without a lot of his main guys. T. Higgins was out. Tyler Boyd went out. The tight end was out, so he had to rely a lot on Jamar Chase. Samaje P. Ryan came in and helped out a little bit, but injuries have started to be a big play, and it's starting to see who's going to be able to make it to the end of the finish line. The war of nutrition is huge right now. So for the most part, hey, man, I can't complain about what they did. I'll have
brother.
What you got, man?
So, what's my man's name? Hendrickson? He just break his
Trey
wrist?
Hendrickson, yeah.
He broke his wrist?
Yeah.
So, like, how crucial is that?
He's like week to week, and he can still play. You know, they're gonna give him pretty much the big cuff on his wrist, but
just a big bear paw.
Yeah, so he can use the club. Yeah,
club. There you go.
So he may be back, and that's what a lot of their injuries are right now. Is week to week, day to day, almost. But I mean, as we already been saying, it's the next man up. And that defensive line is being still strong by B.J. Hill, D.J. Reader. We still got Sam Hubbard on the other side. The linebackers of Logan Wilson. But like I said, the strong point has to come from those cornerbacks. Eli Apple is always on Toast Report, and Cam Taylor-Britt. You know, they want to pick on those guys. Cam was celebrating. He had a couple good plays, but it's still a lot of football to be played. And believe Tom is not trying to go out with a few losses. He's trying to get a dub eventually, and hey, next game he's going to come taking care of business.
All right, and how crucial is the T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd injuries? Are they out this up and coming week as well?
They're the same. They're the same as the they're all week to week. They're not really disclosing how long they can really be out.
Be there this week.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, we see what he can do with the absence of those guys. We know they're going to try to double down on Jamar Chase, but the new guys that's coming in, they're definitely standing in place and continue to make big plays.
They're rolling. They got the momentum going. They
Benefits
tied for the
playing
best
bad.
fourth record. Tied for the third best record in the AFC. Tied at the top of the AFC North with Baltimore. Baltimore did beat Pittsburgh, but Baltimore hadn't looked that good. They got the same thing. Injuries piling up. That's what everybody's got going. That's why I got it right there. Injuries pile up. But they look pretty good. Stifling the run game of the Browns.
So that shows you the defense is going to – that's the reason why we see later on in the top 10. But defense is holding strong. San Francisco has a rookie quarterback who's not really looking like a rookie, but that defense is number one in the NFL. And I'm pretty sure you want to go on and talk about how they did against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, we can continue right there. Man. Yeah, Brock Purdy getting it done, just not making mistakes. He looks pretty comfortable back there. Fred Warner said it best. He said, Brock Purdy practices against the best defense in the league for 13 weeks, so he should be comfortable. And he looks that way. Who knows if he just, ignorance is bliss. He has no idea what he's getting into, so he just goes out and plays. But he's got a lot of weapons around him. Debo going down is huge. But again,
super huge.
That's this is nothing new to this team. Running backs, wide receivers getting hurt, so they're just going to have to overcome. Hopefully Debo can get healthy and come back at some time. Christian McCaffrey, good pickup because they're going to rely on him a lot. Ayuk's looking pretty good. George Kittle doing his thing. The Niners are rolling. That run game is where it's at, and rely on the defense, and then Brock Purdy to just make some good decisions, good throws, and they're going to be just fine. Just got to keep going. They can get it done, and that's where they're at. Stomp Tampa Bay, man. It was awesome. I was thinking that might be the first time they've ever kicked Tom Brady off TV. They cut away from a beatdown so bad, and not only do they kick Tom Brady off TV, they cut to a Sam Darnold-Geno Smith game. I mean, come on. If that's not television gold, then I don't know what is. That made my day. Stuffed them so bad, man. Dude. It was
At one point, it was like, what, 21-0, 28-0?
Yeah, it was 28-0
going into
halftime.
And
that pump,
Purdy was having a party.
Fake, and he was a little short to that ball in Ayuk, but he stood in the pocket. He got drilled as he did it. So in the first play of the game, he got earholed from Judon or Treesh or whoever that was, David, and just got right back up and stuck with it, man.
Kid's fearless, man.
Yeah, I was impressed.
He's
so,
fearless.
All things good in the Bay Area.
So
swinging around, around the horn.
Quick question for your Niners. All right. So now that it's Brock Purdy, do you trust him more than you could possibly trust Jimmy G?
You don't trust him anymore. And obviously Shanahan would know his skill set and the differences in the skill sets from Jimmy G to Purdy, arm strength, velocity, reads, all those things. So it's in Shanahan's hands to, tailor the game plan to what fits his strengths. I mean, you got to trust the man because you ain't got no other fucking option at this point.
Hey, remember what I used to say about what the Packers need to do for Rodgers? The Jimmy G game plan. Just had a Jimmy G game plan to say it. As long as Purdy don't turn it over,
Yep.
it might be fine.
And that's the nature, the NFL is, if you win the turnover margin, you win, 70, 80% of the game, something like that. So, trust him, he's got a lot of practice this season is the good thing, especially with, as the backup. He hasn't third string all season. He's been the backup. So
let me ask you this question about the guys, because we've seen the same thing as with Cooper Rush in the beginning of the season with Dallas.
Yep.
And when Dak came back, they immediately put Dak into the game. When you see potentially if Jimmy does come back, do you feel like they should take Purdy out of the game? Or if you're still rolling, I guess depending on where you are, do you take Purdy out and insert Jimmy?
You don't worry about tomorrow. You got to deal with today.
Oh, man, you're giving the political correct answers right now, man.
Coach speak.
Oh, man. John Lynch, you're doing a great job of teaching these guys.
Roll with the hot hand is how I like to do it. If Purdy's if they get to the division round of the playoffs, if they get past roll with him because he'll have nothing but confidence, and it's Nick Foles striking gold in Philly, and just it's a very different situation. But if he's rolling, man, keep going.
I don't see a difference too much right now, and it could be beginner's luck. It could be you don't have any fear.
Yep.
In Brock Purdy's not he's fearless right now, so he doesn't
Yeah.
He's just going out and playing.
He just doesn't
But,
know.
I mean, I don't see anything right now with Jimmy and Brock, how he's playing right now.
No.
So,
There's
you
no
said that-
pressure on him either.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, but playoff is going to bring out a different animal. And right now, not saying that defense of Tampa Bay was trash or the defense of Miami was bad, but eventually it's going to start catching up and you'll start seeing. But luckily, the defense that's on his side is also
I mean,
being able to shut
we'll find
teams
out this
down.
week. Short week going into Seattle. That ain't no, slouch game. So
12th man.
divisional opponent, short week, those things. So we'll find
Y'all
out.
battling for y'all the ones that's battling for the West
That's
too.
right.
So that's real important game. Then you already get the first game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a big game going into the week 15.
Yep. So
All right, now
Around
the
the horn, yep.
yeah, now the what
Say the
everybody's
words for last, huh?
Oh, this is what you've been waiting for.
Hey,
What do I
man.
think about the Lions, man? Shout out to the Lions, man. Amon-Ra didn't go off. Jameis Wilson had his
everybody else went off. man.
Jameis Williams. Hey, shout out to the young man. Battled back, persevered in his second game. People keep talking about it's his first game. It's his second game, but it's his first game. He got in first catch, touchdown off of a broken play. I'm mad. If Harrison Smith was in, he probably wouldn't have scored, but he's not there to stop that. My only thing about that loss is I felt like going into the halftime, we was marching. I don't know why they're trying to get cute on the Detroit line. This ain't a game. Yes, essentially, if we win, we're the NFC North Kings, but I'm just saying, I don't know why you're getting cute. Just run it in there. They try to do some type of little fancy jump pass with Cook. Cook got stuck. The receiver, whoever the hell he was trying to throw it to, didn't get open or didn't get through the traffic, so he got stuck and he just stood there instead of falling down. He got stripped. That changes the whole everything. So instead of going into the halftime 14-14 like it should have been, and we get ball coming out of half, we come out flat. Now it's a great second half, 425 yards for Kirk, yada, yada, 223 yards for JJ. He did get played on one of them catches. He didn't step out, and that would have been a touchdown. I ain't saying they trying to make sure we lose, but, it is what it is. Vegas already said that the Lions was favorite. They knew something was up.
Yeah, before Vegas said that they were favorite,
Actually,
we
no,
heard it here first.
actually, they didn't.
Even though if you
No,
want to say Vegas
no,
put it out
that-
there first, I've been telling you for weeks.
No, you didn't.
I've been telling you for weeks that y'all was going to get thrashed.
We didn't get
Road
thrashed.
clips.
We didn't get thrashed.
You didn't get thrashed. You didn't get a dub either.
We didn't get a dub. Okay, but what's the mantra? Can we go back to the mantra? What's the mantra? What's the mantra? What's the mantra?
13-4 say no
Thank
more.
you.
So he leaves
Don't play
error.
with your food.
He
No.
leaves room for error. That's what he's saying right now.
And,
folks.
and at this point, we're 10-3, looking good. Still going to win our division. Still going to be the second seed in NFC. I don't
so
understand
that loss
why.
gives you no fear in going.
What am
into
I
the
afraid
playoffs.
of? That I need to make sure that Harrison Smith is back, because we just got a cornerback. I'm everybody. We just need the right people back at the right time. We need Harrison Smith and Christian Darrisaw back on that offensive line. Harrison Smith, our quarterback of our defense, and we'll be fine.
What are their time tape? What are their injury
Saturday
designations?
I don't even remember why. I just think Harrison Smith was under the weather. I know a couple of players got sick throughout the week and they didn't play. I think he was one of them. Patrick Peterson played. He was also one of the players who got sick. But Darrisaw comes back this Saturday. He will be there to play against Coach Saturday's team on Saturday.
There you go.
So,
Hey, all right.
yeah, see what I did there.
Saturday.
Our, PFF's graded the third best left tackle. Christian Darrisaw comes back, so we definitely need him. We haven't seen him since
that's
Micah.
right.
Since Micah's strip fumble against Kirk is the last time Darrisaw actually played a snap. We need our left tackle back. The backup left tackle just got out too, so yeah, him coming back is huge.
That'll be huge.
I need Dalvin Cook to wake up a little bit. I don't
that
know.
goes hand in hand with the offensive line, I think.
I mean, Kirk, I actually watched my quarterback attempt to will us to victory with him in the best wide receiver in the game. I don't even think it's debatable at this point. If they want to keep giving it to DA, that's fine. But I just watched the young man go for 223 yards, and it didn't feel as impactful because he didn't score, and of course we didn't come out with the dub.
Yep.
So
He looks good.
you finish?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask me what you want to ask me.
I want to ask you a
'Cause
simple
if,
question.
If it's about Kirk, I don't even.
Nah, it ain't nothing about
I
Kirk.
hope it
This
ain't
is a
about
team
Kirk.
game. First of all, it ain't got nothing to do with Kirk.
I hope not.
It got more to do with the Colts. The Colts are coming off a bye.
I do with the Colts.
You got the Colts coming off a bye. They're coming into Minnesota. You just coming off a loss. They had time to prepare. Do you feel anxious?
No.
Do you feel
No.
nervous?
No.
Do you feel like you guys are going
I
to
already
win?
answered the question. No.
Here, I got. Hang
yes.
on, here. Got him, coach.
Okay, here's the thing.
No, here I got one. What do you think about the game? Do you think the Colts are going to beat the Vikings?
I mean, it's potential
Have
that
you seen
it
the
can happen.
They haven't lost back-to-back all
Say
season.
that, there you go.
So, I mean, they have that in their hat. They've only lost. They lost once last month. I think that game was in November.
They might spank them.
I mean, I think I think we're going to bounce back after a game that we really could have had. Yeah. But again, every game we shoot ourselves in the foot. It's not even playing with our food. It's just we're just playing with ourselves.
A man Cam said if the Lions can beat y'all, they can too.
Okay.
Well, they can, of course.
Didn't y'all go one? Okay, for Cam to be speaking, didn't y'all go 1-1 against the Browns? Yes or no?
Minnesota's in good
but
shape.
we seen how
answer the question.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not so us beating the Lions has nothing to do with nothing. I also seen us beat the Bills. So what does that mean? The Lions
Weeks
it's
ago.
a divisional opponent. It's not easy to beat the same team twice. So that's why I can't wait. I look forward to having to play Dallas and or Philly again. But we tied with the Lions once, just like last year. We tied with them. It happens. We can't. I mean, you can't beat everybody.
That's how divisional opponents. I mean,
y'all didn't sweep the Browns. Y'all didn't. Did y'all sweep the Steelers?
Denver just showed up.
No, y'all didn't. Okay,
KC,
exactly. Man. You could lose to the bottom of the bottom. So Cam, miss me with that fan stuff. If you're gonna keep it real, keep it real. I'm not worried about it. 13-4, say no more. My only problem with the loss is I actually had the Colts is one of the losses I had penciled in our preseason. I've been wrong about every loss.
The week around, yeah.
I've been wrong about every loss so far about who we would lose to. So we might beat the Colts, hopefully so. But if we didn't beat them, I also had that penciled in.
Right.
But 13-4, say no more. So I'm not worried.
There you got it.
They not on my upset alert, but they somewhere close to that radar.
You called an upset for a team that was favored. I still didn't get that.
They are technically favored because of Vegas. I've been saying it for the last, like I said, since before y'all played the Bills. When y'all played the Bills, I said after that. I said that whole entire time after that. That's when y'all schedule was going to get.
You thought we was about to go 2-6 in that stretch. And we've only had 2 losses since then.
Let's go.
And we beat Buffalo.
The other big note I don't know, I guess we glossed over. Shit, Baker Mayfield's showing up. Thursday feels like a long time ago. I just got to mention that because he brought him back. The Los Angeles Rams beat the crummy Vegas Raiders 17-16. The Raiders have blown 4 games with a 13-point lead. That's an NFL record. Baker Mayfield making himself look good. They were down. I think he had 2 touchdowns in the last 4 minutes. Is that right? So anyway, the note there, Baker's back, or sort of as much as Baker can be back. Any other notes from you got? Baltimore beat Pittsburgh. I had the Steelers winning that one.
Let me down, man.
Philadelphia looks good. I was going to say you needed that one, Will. And Denver showed up. Man, what the hell? Denver shows up, puts 28 against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs prevail. Patrick Mahomes doing goofy, crazy Patrick Mahomes things again. And with that, it'll take us to our Ballers of the Week. And Patrick Mahomes was not on that list.
Because he threw 3 interceptions. So you got the best of Patty, and you also got the worst of Patty, which I always say, he'll throw you some. You just got to catch him.
Division opponents, man, like we just said, always tough.
Broncos defense is, Patrick Surtain and them boys is just something else. Yeah.
All right.
It is what it is. Are we going off of that game since we talking that? So, the true baller of the game, the real MVP, catcher of the no-look pass, Jerick McKinnon. From Jared to Jared, Jerick McKinnon had 112 yards, 7 receptions, average 16 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns. He really didn't do nothing in the backfield. Pacheco actually, and I spelled it wrong. He got 1 R in his name, not 2. So that's actually Jared to Jared. But Pacheco did more in the back in the running game. But, his thing is to catch the pass, screen passes, and he did what he did. Jerick McKinnon is a special running back. He's also a former Minnesota Viking. I'm very happy that he is in a good situation because I think, tore his ACL twice. Didn't he tear with y'all? That was supposed to be his big break with y'all, and it didn't work.
And another Niners running back got injured. No way. Jerick McKinnon can fly, dude. He's athlete.
Special, bro. Yep. That kid's special.
He's a talent.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a nice.
Mahomes know what to do with him.
If you happen to have him on your fantasy team and start him, I think he's rostered in 30% of leagues or something. But he put up some points.
It's because it's every other week.
Yep.
But when he do pop, it's something crazy.
It's like throwing darts.
Right, go ahead, Rye. You got it, man.
I'll go. Back to my guy, the young man, the baby-faced assassin, Brock Purdy, 23-year-old killer. Tore him up. 16-21, $185, 2 TDs, and he had a rushing touchdown.
134.
And just didn't make mistakes. And he probably, and you got to put it on him, man. I mean, that's a lot of pressure going against Tom Brady, the GOAT. The narrative was there. He's got to step
Came
in,
back
a
home.
lot of pressure at home, all this business, and he just shut him down. Big props to Christian McCaffrey. That dude is the dude. He just does it in all phases of the game. He's a hell of a pass blocker, too. He can catch out of the backfield, the stiff arm across the middle, his speed, his shakes. Christian McCaffrey is fucking awesome, and I love that he's on the 49ers, and hopefully he's going to carry us to the Super Bowl. But Brock Purdy, big situation. The dude stepped up and got it done. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, I had to roll with the quarterback that was able to take down the big, bad skull game Vikings. That would have to be – oh, I didn't even roll with them.
No.
Man, I swear I told you golf. Well, anyways, that's who I chose this week was Trevor Lawrence. All right. Well, I was for sure I chose golf.
We'll get that as
Hey, forget it. Trevor Lawrence, man.
You
You gotta fucking love
You
live
don't
TV, right?
remember we said you said I was gonna pick Trev, but I seen that you had Trev. I was like, go ahead, get Trev, and I'll go with Jarek. Then he's like, all right, cool.
You know what? It was because it was preempting it for my Superman cape for a little bit later. Now that I'm thinking about it, you know, this is why I chose Sunshine, because he's coming in and he's starting to finally warm up. You see those numbers, man? The numbers don't lie. 30 for 42, 368, 3 touchdowns, man. 121 on a passing. For y'all don't know the QBR scale, that goes up to 150. So Sunshine is finally emerging, and he got a big test coming to Dallas coming up this week. Dallas is coming to see that guy. So think if he can keep rolling. They've been taking teams down. They finally waking up. So that's why I chose him as my so-called baller. Maybe honorable mention, but hey, like those apples.
All right, let's talk about Jared Goff. He was a great addition to my fantasy squad. Picked him up late. The funny thing is that I was sitting at work that morning. It's like, why the hell am I starting Russ Wilson? Like, Jared Goff, he's going to tear it up. And, of course, he did, but
Russell Wilson probably had a big day.
he had a bigger – yeah, it was, anyway. Why would you start Russ Wilson? Anyway, tell me about Jared Goff.
Well, Goff,
Everybody got it done.
man, he got it done because he just, like I said, he went in there. I tried to say that Williams was going to come and he was going to do what he do. First play, pretty much from the scrimmage. It wasn't first play, but he was just able to take care of the ball. He didn't turn the ball over. He didn't try to get a game away. He just took care of business. And he even got my man Penei Sewell. Shout out to Penei. He didn't come to Cincinnati.
That was a huge third down that I'm mad that they let get. Oh my god! But shout out to Penny, the athletic left tackle that I
Hey,
wanted.
man.
That people
You
thought
did,
that
yeah.
the Bengals was going to draft,
about
but you know they went with Jamar instead, which was obviously smart.
Thankfully.
Speaking of the draft
Respectfully.
and
I mean,
the
you know,
Lions,
Burrow is still one of the most sacked quarterbacks, but you know,
He
Penei
is.
Sewell could catch passes too. Apparently,
dude, that was awesome.
Not like number one.
It's crazy how that big of a dude, like, he's that athletic.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
he caught
That
it. and
says
he
a lot
still
about that
ran for
defense
about
of the
4 to
Vikings
5.
right now. Exactly.
I don't know.
Big
Did you-
man come out of the backfield. Nobody was
He
on
didn't
him.
come out the backfield. He
Came off of. He was
He
going
was
in
lined up as
motion.
a tiny. He went in.
right,
What's
check-
the name and everything.
Check the highlights
Check
if you
it,
haven't
man.
seen it.
He was wide open. Nobody on
Well,
him.
yeah, the
Penei
defense of the
Sewell.
Vikings is why Jared Goff kind of looked good, and Mac Jones looked good against us. Everybody pretty much looked good against our defense.
Hey,
All right,
man.
one
Everybody
quick,
gets tired.
I got
overcome.
one quick note. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break before we come back for Will Ward's Top 10. We were talking about the draft and the Detroit Lions. I saw Todd McShay today on the screen. He had C.J. Stroud going number 4 to the Detroit Lions. So mull that over while we're at commercial break. We'll be right back. And that's debatable.
Talk about the play-by-play coming this weekend, December 17th, to Nationwide Arena. It's a great day of high school basketball. Can you talk about some of the players and some of the teams that are playing this Saturday at Nationwide Arena?
I sure can. We've never had this many stars in one play-by-play event ever. And you, George, because Evan Royal going to Ohio State from Pickerington Central. You've got L.A. Hayes going to Kent from St. Vincent St. Mary. You got 2 James, Bronny and Bryce, that the whole world's interested in. You got Ashton Hardaway going to Memphis from Sierra Canyon. You've got Scottie Pippen's son, Justin, who I'm curious to see play. You got Darren Peterson, a top 5 sophomore in the country, playing for CVCA. They're playing in the third to last game. Jesse McCullough, top 40 center, has been offered by Michigan State. He goes to Lutheran East. Lutheran East and Garfield Heights have two of the best freshmen, two of the top 10 freshmen in the entire country. Trimble, I believe, is the name of the young man at Lutheran East. And I know Marcus Johnson, Sonny Johnson's son, is at Garfield Heights. Cam Joyce, who's Drew Joyce's son, coaching St. Ignatius, he's loaded with D1 players on his team as well. And then you got Gabe Cups from Centerville, who's as smooth a guard as you're going to see. And he's already committed to Indiana, which is a top 10 team this year. So there's a ton of stars. There's a ton of talent. There's some great matchups. Centerville and Pickerington Central, where your son coaches, playing in that last game, a rematch of last year's championship game. We're expecting a big crowd for that. Of course, St. Vincent, St. Mary, and Sierra will be huge. Lutheran East may be the most talented team in the entire state of Ohio. They're playing CVCA and Darren Peterson. Garfield and Cheminade should be a good one. I love the St. Ignatius and Afrocentric matchup, and Cleveland Heights is playing in the first game. And so that'll be, it's all going to be really exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait to see all these great players and great teams.
Hello, I am Amy J. Ross Womack, the Executive Director of the Ohio Sickle Cell and Health Association, and I'm here to talk to the parents and student athletes about a very important topic. The NCAA has instituted different standards for all divisions of student athletes. Before you can play sports in any college or university, you must present a negative trait status or hemoglobin status documentation. Your hemoglobin status is taken at birth with the newborn screening. And what they do is they run your blood for any abnormality or any birth defect. There are thousands of newborn screening birth defects in this country. For more information about sickle cell disease, sickle cell trait testing, you can call our offices at 614-228-0157. Or you can visit us via web at ohiosicklecell.org.
Welcome back to the show. Thanks for being patient with us. My guy's doing shit, man. We work out so much. He's doing sprints during the commercials. Got to keep the blood flowing. Got to stay loose. My guy's getting amped because you know what time it is. It's the best time, our favorite time of the season, favorite time of the week. Will Ward's Top 10. Let's air it out. Drag him through it, Will. Let's go. And if you're in the comments, of course, jump in there. Let us know how dumb you think Will is, how right you think he is, what you got. Let's go.
Well. Where do we start? Well, we're going to start at number 10.
That's
It's
a good
one of the
spot.
favorite numbers. So, at number 10,
10 for Jimmy G.
man, there was a lot going on with Miami Dolphins right now. I don't know if they just can't get it together. They're on a 2-game losing streak, and they went over to L.A. and just couldn't get it together. They had Justin Herbert really able to get loose, but one thing that scares me and should scare Miami, they got to go to the big Bill Bad Mafia. You know what I mean? The Bills Mafia coming in, and it's going to be another snowstorm.
Big Bill Bad Mafia.
You know what it is. But it's going to be another snowstorm. You got Miami, a Southern team, coming up to Buffalo. And, hey, I don't think they're going to be able to hold it down. So they're going to be on a 3-game losing streak. Then they have to get probably it's going to be Jordan Love at that time. They got Green Bay coming up. Then they got the Patriots, and they're going to finish off with the Jets. So that schedule right there, we seen how the Patriots were able to kind of hold it together last night. Still took a loss, but it's not going to be easy for Tua and the company these next couple of weeks. So that's why they're number 10. They're starting to slide a little bit more down that chart. And we're going to move to number 9, the team that actually got a hold of them, the team that actually beat them, the team that has not been on my list, but just snuck in there because I had to push the Jets out. But the Los Angeles Chargers, like I said, they was led by Hubbard. He was able to get a couple things in. He got a couple of key acquisitions back. You've seen his running back, Eckler. He's able to run hard. That defense is looking good even without Joey Bosa. Or not Joey Bosa, but the other Bosa brother. And they're just holding it together. They just happen to be at number 9.
Joey.
Huh?
Yeah, Nick played for the Niners.
All right, I just came from outside. I had to run during the break. You see, I'm all twisted up, but I'm back. All right, so I think they're just in there for now. They're not going to make a big splash. I don't even know if they're really going to make the playoffs, but at least in this week, in week 14, they were able to make into the top 10. So coming in at number 8, this team has been riding and it's still tied for tops of the AFC North, and they were able to get a win without, 1, Lamar Jackson, 2, without Huntley, who went out with a concussion, but they're still able to keep fighting. This week, they got the Browns coming, or going into Cleveland. They got the Ravens coming up, or the Falcons coming up. They got the Steelers coming up, and they finished the season with the Bengals. So we'll see if I think this is a time where the Browns may be able to get Deshaun Watson and get him rolling. That defense has not been looking the best for the Ravens, even though they've been just squeaking out wins. They haven't really played a strong offense because the one week they had the Broncos, then they had the Steelers, who lost Jared's guy. The one time I did put my cape on for Pickett, he finally fell out. So the Ravens,
you
could
cape for
potentially-
motives, though. Caping for motives. Remember what you said.
Well, I mean, motives. Pickett lost. They lost him in the beginning of the game.
I got you.
All right, so at
Concussion protocol. It was Mitch.
number 7, I got the Vikings. Had to slide them down because of the atrocious loss, whether Vegas had them winning.
Wasn't atrocious.
It was atrocious, man. You lose to a team that's barely.
They won 5 of their last 6.
You keep giving them respect, but you didn't want to give them the respect earlier. So the Vikings took a loss. They took a loss in the standings, and they got the Jeff Saturday Colts coming up. They got the Giants, who's still fighting for their playoffs lives. They got the Packers, who's looking to play spoiler every single week. And then they got the last game against the Chicago Bears. Probably won't see Justin Fields, and potentially probably won't see none of their starters either. So, I mean, for them to continue to ride and to make it to 13-4, they're going to have to continue to play the style of play that they had before, the ones they had against the Bills, the games that they had, not like the ones they had against the Cowboys. They got to play a little bit stronger.
The other 10 wins we got.
The other 10 wins, yeah, the 9-0 type stuff, you know. But hey, that's why they're number 7 this week. Not taking no shame and putting shame on their names, but at least this week they lost to a Lions team that's not nowhere near the playoffs, and that's why they're number 7. So at number 6, I got the Bills. And like I said before, the Bills, I do not trust that offense. It's not really putting up too much firepower. They struggled against the Jets. They have that interior line that is really good. That Sauce Gardner and the cornerback crew is decent, but they was able to put up 20 points against that Jets team. Josh Allen, he's making plays, but he's just not, I don't know, it's the inconsistency for me, man. But coming up, they got the Bears, they got the Bengals. That's going to be a really big game for the AFC. And then they got the Patriots to finish the season out. So going to keep moving on. Bills Mafia, they are without Von Miller for the rest of the season. And they got to just continue to get wins. A lot of people got them penciled in for the Super Bowl, but not here, buddy. At number 5, still staying alive, still riding on with Patty Mack. And those guys, man, it's not much you can do when you got them making circus catches the way that he's throwing them, no-look passes. They was able to go into Denver and really cook it up without Russ. They took him out of the game. And that defense, from here and there, every once in a while, they fall. And you let the Broncos put up 28 points. They had just put up barely any points against the Ravens a few weeks ago. But whenever you got Patty Mack, you always got a chance to continue to win. Coming up, they got the Texans. Don't sleep on the Texans. They're going to at least make you have a pretty decent game. We've seen that from the Cowboys this past week. You got the Seahawks coming up, who's going to be fighting and make sure that they can continue to go to the playoffs. You got the Broncos coming up. Once again, this time it's in Kansas City, and then you finish off with the Raiders. So divisional games is how the rest of their season is going to go. And at number 4, we got the 2023 Super Bowl champion Cincinnati Bengals. Speaking into existence, people. That's all I do. You know what I mean? So they got Tom Brady and the Buccaneers coming up. They got the Patriots. They got the Bills at home. Cincinnati, and then they finish up with the Ravens. Like I said before, they was able to hold Nick Chubb's under 36 yards. They did it a couple weeks ago, holding King Henry to about 38 yards, and that defense is starting to seem stronger. The focus has always been on that offense. Like we said earlier, they don't have T. Higgins. They don't have Tyler Boyd. The tight end is out. but we have people to continue to fill in those new acquisitions on the receivers, and we still got number 1. So as long as you can get that number 9 and number 1 hookup, those guys are going to keep rolling. I didn't move them up, didn't move them down. I kept them right where they were at last week. So going to keep on rolling. At number 3, I got those San Francisco 49ers. Last week I had them at number 6. I didn't have no respect for Purdy just yet, but I have a little bit more respect for him, and this schedule that's coming up, it's a little bit better for him, even though after this week they got the Seahawks in Seattle. This is a primetime game or a Thursday night game. So, hey, circle that one. It should be a pretty decent fight. We should see Purdy, and he's going to come out and do what he do. But against that 12-man, it's going to be a lot of ruckus in that arena. So we'll see what happens there. But then they have the Commanders coming up. Washington is coming off of their bye week this past week, and they saying that Chase Young potentially can come back. So get a pass rusher like Young and can get into Purdy's face. We'll see how that affects him. They got the Raiders, and then they finish up with the Kyler Murray-less Cardinals. But that defense is number 1 in the NFL, and as long as you know you can have defense that wins championships. So I'm going to keep on rolling. At number 2, this team lost a little bit of respect, but hey, when you have a defense that holds, you can do things like that. The Cowboys, and I circled them on my upset alert, but we heard it here first. Jacksonville, get ready. They got to go to Jacksonville this coming up week. The Cowboys were barely able, after a 98-yard drive by Dak Prescott, to go down and win the game. They did what they got to do. People saying if they win by 4, it's still a dub. But it's ugly, it's gritty, it's still a dub. But when you have a team like that's supposed to be going to the Super Bowl, you can't. I don't see how you play with your food this much to a 1-win Texans. So shout out to the Texans, but bigger shout out to the Cowboys. Like I said, they got the Giants coming up. They got a big game against the Eagles, one of the biggest games of the season probably. Then they have the Titans in Tennessee, and they finish up in Washington. And then at number 1, man, it's not much that needs to be said about these guys who keep flying high. They're going to continue to do what they do. Jalen Hurts is potentially the MVP front runner right now, and I don't really see another loss on their schedule. They got to go to Chicago this week. They got the Cowboys at home Christmas Eve. They got the Saints at home in Philadelphia, and then they finish up with the New York Football Giants. So as long as they can continue to hook up with A.J. Brown and do the things that Jalen Hurts has been doing, managing the game pretty well, it's good that, once again, another strong defense, the acquisition of Ndamukong Suh, and I hear they signed a punter for whatever reason. But, hey, that's my top 10 of this week. I'm pretty sure you guys are ready to chop it up, screw it up. Go ahead and spit it out, my guy.
Not bad, Will. Not
stop.
I mean, it's
far too kind.
It's better than anything else out there.
Yeah, because some teams, because some other lists is even more disrespectful to my Vikings. Yeah, everybody's just nuts, including you.
The Rodney Dangerfield Vikings.
Oh my God! At least so now they're not blaming the quarterback no more. At least it's just the defense. But anyway, I'm with you with Miami at 10, LA at 9. Is because it's other 7-6 teams out there, but they was either off a bye or they just lost or. It just didn't look as sexy as what Herbert and them just did. I think all that Herbert and Tua stuff just shut down. Baltimore keep rolling even though that Lamar is down. But with that injury to Kyler, I wonder if Lamar should or shouldn't come back. That's debatable. Because, he still didn't get that paper. At least Kyler got that paper, study clause or not. But San Francisco love. I get their defense is good, people, but now they now all of a sudden they believe in Brock Purdy more than Kirk. All right, I know. San Francisco at 7, Cincinnati. I'm in tied for first, second place, however you want to look at it. Y'all on a nice little 5-game streak. It's looking good. Keep on winning. You got to show me more. Y'all
7 out of the last 8.
That's fine. Y'all still not at double digits win yet. Get there. Cincinnati, I put them at 6. Buffalo at 5. Minnesota at 4. They're a 10-3 team, and we beat Buffalo. Kansas City got the real MVP, 10-3. Dallas, Philly to run it out. But I had to switch Cincinnati and San Francisco. They getting a lot of people love Joe Burrow, and rightfully so. I get it. All right, cool. It's Brock Purdy now, the Brock Purdy show. All right, cool, whatever.
Man, yeah, that Kansas City team is better than Dallas.
You can't win them all, but when you win at least most of your games, I don't know what they want.
Also, Dallas should have lost, man. Houston kicks that field goal, game over. Or if they convert a fucking 4th and 1, game over. But kick the field goal, you're up 9, 2-possession game, it's over. That was embarrassing. Dallas.
They've been playing with their food the last 2 weeks.
All right.
Except,
I said it before. I'm going to say it one more time. Dallas, upset alert. Remember that.
It's Will Ward's top 10. It's not Ryan's. It's not Jared's. It's not AD's. It's Will's. Let him know.
Jared will have something to say.
All right, little week 15 he talked about. Will mentioned all of the games coming up. The highlights are Thursday Night Football, San Fran at Seattle.
Saturday football.
And Saturday football is the other big highlight. 3 games, all on the NFL Network. 1 o'clock. The Indianapolis Saturday Colts taking on the Vikings.
Smoking them.
Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. And then Saturday night, the Miami Dolphins go to Buffalo in a very highly anticipated AFC East matchup. Dolphins need to win that one. Tua's a little banged up. Bills need to get back on track. And the other big thing is the fantasy football playoffs. Will and I'm not playing you, Will. I think I got the North Coast Warriors, Modlin or somebody. I don't even know the guy. But we'll have 2-week playoffs to advance. So you and me might be looking at the, the Destiny Jedi League Fantasy Championship. In one of my leagues, I got a first-round bye, sitting comfortably in first place, which will be nice because I got Lamar Jackson, and I need him healthy. Week 16. Fantasy playoff time, man. Jamar Chase is looking good. I snagged him in a trade. He might be one of my Superman. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, in the league, like you said, the Jedi League, I did play Ryan this past week, and it came down to the Monday night game. He had Stevenson. That was the only guy he had left, and I continued to watch that game. That was the only reason I watched that game last night, was just to see what Mr. Stevenson was going to do. He ended up going out in the second quarter. He had got injured. So I'm like, all right, well, there it is. 109 to 121 is what the final score was for us. And, hey, man, I made it through this football season with only 1 loss.
You've been dominating that league.
Hey, do what I do.
I can't wait till next year. I'm not losing no games next season in no league. I promise. I'm going to draft right, and now I know how to do it. And make sure I go heavy. I need run game. My star receiver, my run game got to be solid.
Shout out to Josh Jacobs and Nick Chubb, man. And even my man Jamal Williams came in there and stole something for me.
I could steal a quarterback, or you could rotate quarterbacks.
I've been rolling Jared Goff.
Try to snag that one great defense that's gonna take you through the season if you can. Otherwise, you got to be rotating that too. But I haven't had a solid running game in none of my fantasy leagues.
That's right. Yeah, running back's tough, but it's that time, man. It's awesome. It's just the fantasy crapshoot, as I always call it. Kyler Murray we need a big night from Kyler. 3rd play of the game done. Ramondre Stevenson ankle. Jamison Williams catch a one-off 40-yard touchdown. In our league, we do 50-yard touchdown bonuses. So somebody like Jerick McKinnon sneaking in there. Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram had a big week.
Tight end off the waiver wire free agency. Like he had 37 in one. I think 2 touchdowns, $170. I mean, it's exciting, and you never know where the points are going to come from.
The sneaky points. You got the consistent people.
Some other exciting matchups is, it's divisional time. We mentioned our games we like. I mean, Kansas City at Houston, nothing much there. You got Pittsburgh at Carolina, nothing much there. Philadelphia at Chicago, should thump them. Falcons at Saints, no way. Giants, Commanders, no thanks. And Monday Night Football, Rams at Packers. I mean, it's
it's only seeding battles, maybe.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
That's the type. The AFC.
We got a lot of
the AFC is real tight. Your Bengals are still trying to win the North, and if they could win the North with a win over KC, and then y'all got Buffalo coming up, like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, all of that stuff matters right now.
So as we get into as those seeding battles, who you going to put your Superman cape on for? I like the fantasy football side of it. If you got a guy on your squad. If you got...
Put that head on. Put that cape on.
Where's the new... I got to find where that logo and the new logo is so they could be...
Jam them together.
Yeah.
Man, what league do I need? Man, I got to find a replacement for that. Travis Etienne's been poo-pooing lately. The Jeff Saturdays. So it's up to you guys. We can go. I'll let you take it. You want fantasy Superman, or are you going?
Well, I'm gonna jump out off a ledge real quick and put my cape on.
Go ahead.
Hey man, like I said, that was why my baller of the week was Mr. Trevor Lawrence, not Jared Goff. I gotta go with Trevor Lawrence once again for him to go out there and beat those guys that's coming in from Dallas. I mean, they just got a sneaky link win against the Houston Texans that they should have lost, but now, like I said, Jacksonville has been playing consistent. Big Trevor Lawrence had a big game last week. Follow it up at home and go ahead and play spoiler to those Dallas Cowboys. That's my guy.
I like that. That's tough. You got one?
I'm caping for the GOAT, man. It's been looking ugly. You got to get it right.
This dude cape every week to try to see his fall, man.
Actually, I haven't. And no,
You cape last week for
but because
D-Watt.
It's
but that
hyperbole.
Is it not? Did Kid D-Watt not need to put his cape on? Did he not have a huge, like, that was a big game? And what the cape represents, that's what it's supposed to represent. I'm not caping for no motive. I don't really care what y'all do. You're on the AFC. I mean, I might just want to talk trash to some people out there in the world.
Man.
But besides that, I don't care. But hey, man, I'm caping for the GOAT. I mean, I don't need to. I could cape for Geno. He my quarterback in my fantasy league. But nah, I'm caping for the GOAT, man. Because the Bucks got a tough matchup. And it's going to take the GOAT to put on some GOAT-type performance for them to even get the dub. They still battling for the NFC South, and they trying to still make the playoffs. And this might be, the last ride for Tom Brady. He can't go out like that. He on a 2-game losing streak. He already lost. I just seen a post where he done lost to a third-string quarterback. He lost to a XFL quarterback, and he done lost to a quarterback. And who else did he lost to?
And he about to lose this week too.
But we'll see.
Lose
But
to the
anyway,
new
the
GOAT.
GOAT can't go out like he did. I'm putting on my case for Tom Brady.
I know this is live, man, but I want to give you a chance to go back and repick somebody else. I don't know. What are you hoping from Tom Brady to come out and do this week?
Perform.
They're in a tight battle in the NFC South, man.
Like,
They're
bro.
6 and 7. Carolina.
I mean, who?
Proceed.
There is no other capes. You already caped for Trevor. Should have let me go first.
Damn.
I don't
Tough
need-
choices,
14
man.
games in
All
the
right.
NFL. Can't figure it out.
Tyler Huntley. Nah.
God
man.
dang, dude.
Tom Brady, man.
See, my thing, I got some tough choices to make in one of my fantasy lineups. Michael Pittman or Chris Godwin? Or running back, do I start Pacheco or DeAndre Swift or Jamal Williams? It's just too many choices.
Pacheco got Houston, so, I mean, you can see some big numbers out of him.
I'm going to cape for Mr. Michael Pittman Jr. of the Indianapolis Colts.
Like that.
I need that guy to step up. I got him in a couple leagues is why I'm doing it. He started off real hot. He's been kind of hit and miss here and there. I need him to just ball out. The Vikings defense is a little soft. And you had an extra week. So show up for the Saturdays. Put up some points for me because you're plugged in and you're going. Let's go Michael Pittman Jr.
Who was the quarterback?
Former Ohio State Buckeye.
That's a good question.
Get it done.
I mean, even if it is Matt Ryan.
I think he's rolling Matt Ryan is who Jeff Saturday likes.
Yes.
And that dude,
Matty Ice.
Was rolling good with Matty Ice early on, so that's fine with me. He can throw as many picks as he wants, as long as he gets a few to Pittman. And by a few, I mean like 10. Let's hit 10. 10 for 100 and a touchdown, Michael Pittman. Get some, please.
I don't think that's going to happen.
And
I can see one big play, maybe.
All right, throw us in your chats. AD, you want to throw one out there? You got any interest in your Packers? No? Nope. All right. Nothing from the doctor behind the board. All right, dude. That's done with football. I know we got some good comments in the chats. Appreciate y'all still watching us. We're going to tune into the NBA now. It's been good. I've been betting the NBA quite a bit lately. We got some overs tonight. Also, I'm going to update you real quick since I'm repping my new Avalanche sweatshirt. Shout out to the 2022 Stanley Cup champions. But the Blue Jackets are in Florida tonight. Game is currently underway. Blue Jackets are down 0-3 to the Florida Panthers. It's a rough season for the Blue Jackets so far. And I know our guy Adam Dell has been helping out run some cams down at Nationwide. So it's always cool to see the shots there. I'll take us into the NBA. Cleveland Cavaliers up north. They've been hanging around. They've had kind of a down week. We're going to bring it in with new Jair's levels.
Where is my gallery?
And we'll let Jer pull up his image, and we'll get after it. There we go.
All right, man. It's definitely an update from the last time. Who did I kick out? I kicked off the Suns. It's a new king of the West right now, and that boy out there just doing windmill 720s, styling on these people, man. The Pelicans is looking like that, and that's without Brandon Ingram. And that's without Brandon Ingram playing right now. He will be back. I think he got a toe injury. You know, his big toe hurt right now. He got to get it right. So when he do that jab step, mid-range pull up on them boys, it's going to look scary. They 3-and-D player just came back. I really like the Pelicans, man. Zion stay healthy. Of course, they go as far as Zion go. CJ McCollum isn't shooting a high percentage from the three-point line, but he's a smart player. He could get everybody involved. You know, they still got my man out there, Avocado. That's not his real name, but I like calling him that. Little Avocado going to steal some stuff.
Avocado.
They're looking good, man. They Valanciunas is looking good. They got every nutrients you need to possibly win a championship. They just need to stay healthy, and once BI come back, it will look nice. Shout out Willie Green. If he keep it up, he could be a possible coach of the year over there. And of course, Milwaukee, Boston is they should get it together tonight. I believe they play LA. They should get it together tonight. Lost these past couple games. They bounced back, but Jason Tatum need to show up. He looking like Game 7. Jason Tatum. The Bucks just lost to the Magic last night, but it ain't nothing to sneeze. It ain't nothing to really worry about. Middleton came back. That's what's most important. Giannis is still Giannis, looking like the best player to most people. To me, you know, I'm gonna still choose Kevin Durant. Speaking of Kevin Durant, the Brooklyn Nets has finally woke up. They finally woke up and they're just grinding it out right now. They're fourth in the East. Just, you know, all the headlines is quiet. They tied with they're not tied. They got 3 more wins than Philly, but Philly has been banged up. But Joel Embiid has been balling. But it's looking good. Memphis, they're like right there. Ja's on the sideline right now. When Ja come back, I said earlier, behind the scenes, I would have put Memphis and we like that, but with Ja being on the sideline, They can't win a championship if it started today.
And real quick, score updates. You mentioned the 76ers. They're up 117-91 on the Kings right now.
Yeah.
And the Kings been playing well.
Yeah, so that's why I got the Kings and don't sleep. So even despite the Kings record, which I think the Kings is 5th in the West with 14-11, which is just 3 games above 500.
Correct.
I put them in don't sleep on them. They was and still have hope, but right now just don't sleep on the Kings. Mike Brown is actually coaching them players over there. Sabonis, you know, I like Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox. They got I forgot the other point guard's name, but they definitely over there. Young, electric, just trying to figure out how to win some games, and they could keep it up. They might find themselves in the actual playoff spot and not a play-in situation. But just don't sleep on the Kings, even though they are losing right now. But I'm sure Joel Embiid is having a big game. What else we got? Golden State's finally woken up. They are 14-13, ninth in the West. Right now, just don't sleep on them. I could have them and wake up, but Steph and Clay just put on a hell of a shooting performance against the Boston Celtics the other night, Saturday night, I believe. If Steph and Clay could just stay shooting the way they're shooting, Jordan Poole stay consistent, maybe Jordan Poole could give Russell Westbrook a run for the 6th man of the year money right now, because that's what it's looking like in La La Land for the Lakers with Russ and them while they're trying to figure it out over there. But the Warriors just stay solid, figure out, just don't fold, don't bend, don't break, and just keep moving, because Steph is looking like MVP Steph again. He's performing well and just need Clay to find his footing and to stay consistent.
Warriors are losing by 17 to the Bucks right now, late in the third.
I'm sure that the Bucks did lose to the Magic last night, and Giannis Giannis is the type of player where I'm sure he's probably having a big game right now. Dallas, Luka just came back and had a big game, but they go as Luka goes, so they still have hope that Luka stays healthy for the rest of the year so they can get back up into the playoff contention, because right now it's not that good. They're 14-13. They're in the 8th spot, but they need to get it together. That team ain't loaded. And people keep asking me about my Chicago Bulls, people. Yes, lay it down. Trade Zach LaVine. I don't know what the hell's going on with Lonzo Ball, but he still ain't played since last year. I don't know if we can't do anything with DeMar DeRozan, try to find something where he could get into a winner situation, because I would like to see him be in a winner situation, but he's a monster, and he try to carry us every night. But I say go ahead and blow the thing up. Go ahead and blow the thing up. Zach LaVine's not it. I love Zach, but Zach is not it. We can help out somebody else.
All right.
Oh. I didn't
Oh, finish?
I was gonna ask you about the T-Wolves.
Timberwolves is still
Yeah, I caught.
trolling.
I was saying, Anthony Edwards making a big move.
Stay record right now. 13-14.
He was just looking like he was still getting things done.
Anthony
But
Edwards is a potential superstar, man.
That's the thing. I remember him last year in the playoffs was
Huge.
just awesome.
But they made the dumbest move of the offseason, which is was almost as dumb as, the Packers trading away Devontae Adams, bringing in Rudy Gobert. I don't know why the hell you would do that. And Big Cat's injured right now, so they're still trying to figure it out. And when he come back, it's going to mess it up again. And they're going to be, they're probably going to be in wake up for the whole season, because they're going to be flirting around 500 for the whole year, I feel like, because they're never going to jail.
How about
I know you got the Detroit Pistons all at the bottom, but you see Kate Cunningham's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Shin injury.
Shin injury, tanking, whatever you want to call it. He probably is hurt. But, they laying it down, man. A lot of these teams at the bottom, Wambayana, man, 7'4", possibly this new era KD.
We'll see. We were all over the Pistons though early in the year.
I was still. I thought they would.
This might have been their year.
Man, not the year to do something special, but I thought they'd be able to win a couple games and try to make some noise. But they're not ready.
Generate some headlines. Show flashes of electric.
They still stink.
And
They still bottom feeders. They're not gonna figure it out. But they're young. It's mostly because they're young. It's not just because they suck and they don't got talent. They're young. These are teams that the top teams just feast on. They gotta get. They'll figure it out eventually.
Gonna ask you about the Heat again. Still laying around the 10th spot. They haven't moved much.
They're still battling injuries. They still everybody in and out the lineup. Jimmy Butler just came back, but I just seen. Not too long ago, Udonis Haslem was actually playing on the court for them. So I don't. It's just they still depend on people like Max Struss, Duncan. I seen some crazy where he's making basically like $275,000 per 3-point shot. Duncan Robinson. So they're paying him just to make threes. Pretty much, he got a super huge deal over the summer or 2 summers ago, and he's not really anything but a 3-point specialist, and he's not even consistent enough. But that's the new update for Jared's Levels, man. It's the new king of the West right now, but we'll see how it goes. Golden State waking up. But something interesting did happen today. They came out with awards. The NBA awards got titles now. We got the most improved, the George Mikan Award, John Havlicek, 6th Man of the Year. I got an argument. Could possibly be Jamal Crawford, who's won the most 6th Man of the Year awards. But these is a lot of their.
These are old.
They're supporting the old guys.
And there's
definitely supporting the old guys.
The trophies. So
the Will Chamberlain Rookie of the Year award. I'm like, who also had one of the best rookie years ever? Michael Jordan. But it could have been named after him too. But he can't have everything. Shout out to my favorite center of all time, Hakeem Olajuwon, hit Defensive Player of the Year award. Is named after him. The Jerry West Clutch Player of the Year award. Mr. Clutch, Mr. 1-8 in the NBA Finals. I don't know. That's the award. I don't know what you're gonna do to actually be able to win that award. Is that like
That's what I was wondering about.
Is that the runner-up award to the MVP? Is that who actually hit the most clutch shots or who made the most clutch free throws? I have no clue.
That's gonna be interesting right there.
I have no clue what this award could possibly mean at all. But you already know the GOAT of NBA. I've already seen LeBron fans say something. Well, what I wonder, like people like Shannon Sharp, Nick Wright, what are they going to name the award for LeBron? Well, he's still playing, and whenever he decides to finish, Michael Jordan retired over 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Something.
It's been a while. So, it took a while for Michael Jordan to even get a quote-unquote award named after him, and he is the undisputed GOAT of all time. But the most valuable player award is named after MJ, which is awesome to me.
Yep. I think it's cool. I like it. The trophies look kind of cool. You saw the graphic there. The 5 of them look kind of similar. The MJ one's dope. And speaking of awards, I had a thought. Well, actually, this guy and I were talking about at the gym the other day was about the NFL and the NFL MVP. always goes to a quarterback. It's just de facto.
It's almost
QB
just scripted
award.
in, just write it in every year.
Unless you
Besides
do
AP
something
or
super.
So that's the question. Should the NFL have a quarterback-specific MVP?
No.
Much like MLB has the Cy Young for best pitcher in the AL and the NL. No. Should they designate best QB in the AFC and NFC and then have league MVP? We were just kicking this around. I think he heard it on another show or something. So I thought it was an interesting idea. I mean, I love how Major League Baseball does it. That's, a clear designation. Best pitcher, best QB. Should we do that? That's where we're at anyway.
I think it should be more involved into what the most valuable player award is. Because, I've had arguments in NBA the past couple of years for Jokic winning it. I have arguments against Aaron Rodgers winning it. Of course, number one seed, the previous back-to-back MVP, 2 back-to-back number one seed. Last year, I felt like it was a greater case for Cooper Kupp and what he did as the Triple Crown, because that's something that has never been seen before. And the year that he had was amazing. And then the year prior, where Derrick Henry almost rushed for 2,000 yards or did rush for 2,000 yards, but I can't remember if he went over 2K or not. But he did something so amazing. And the Titans was also the 1 seed, and I think they was 13-3 or something crazy. Or no, they might not have been 13-3, maybe 14-5 or something. Yeah, something odd like that, to where I think Derrick Henry had a greater case even than Aaron Rodgers. Not just saying that because it's Aaron Rodgers and I'm anti-Packers. I just feel like it's not just a quarterback stat. It's just what are they actually factor in when it comes to the question of the term valuable. Because what Cooper Kupp did last year is just the Triple Crown winner it's only been done with 3-4 times, and I think one person did it twice. Right. So it's not something like that should be more recognized, not just a offensive player of the year, because he did more than just be offense. He was the team, and that team went on to win the Super Bowl.
What are your thoughts?
So you for the
He's against
I'm against it.
He just thinks there
shouldn't be.
He thinks they should just stop giving it to QBs.
But I just think more should go into what factors, because I think some of the factors for why Rodgers won is a little bit
weak.
It's a little
weak sauce.
Yeah, it's just, but they don't need awards strictly for quarterbacks.
It's hard to take it away from the guy that has the ball in his hand literally every play of the offensive production. Yep. When you got the quarterback hands, it's important for him to be able to make that handoff to the running back. It's in order for him to be able to orchestrate which way that the offense is supposed to go. And when you have a quarterback, you see how much flack your quarterback takes, and that's the reason why a lot of guys don't trust in him. Not to pick on, old Kurt Cuddy, but
it's a good example though, because for example, if Justin Jefferson, they're not going to respect my team overall enough for Justin Jefferson to really be considered for the MVP, but he does get MVP chance, and they've been trying to throw his name in there. But if Justin Jefferson goes over 2,000 yards this year, that's something
somebody
that
had to give him the ball.
Yeah, of course somebody had to give him the ball, but he was literally the definition of valuable. He's the most valuable player, in my opinion, if he goes on to do that. But he's also, I would make an argument for Patrick Mahomes.
I like how you said earlier about the Cy Young, how they got a specific, award for the pitcher. I don't see why we can't have just a specific one for the quarterback instead of just continue every single year. Like he's saying, there's other valuable assets to a team, but for some reason we get so stuck on the guy that's protected the most in the NFL was the quarterback. Well, I think he's the most valuable to the team. He's the person that's paid the highest on the team usually. So the quarterback is the elite person. He's the leader of the team, the captain of the team, and
when you make a point like he's got the ball in his hands every play. Takes it from the center, pre-snap reads, audibles, checkdowns. It's sometimes he's the offensive coordinator.
He's either going to be the hero
so
or he's going to be the villain.
Take the blame for all of it. Dak was either going to win that game, and if they would have lost, Dak would have taken all the flack. You know what I mean? So just an interesting debate. The MLB is a good example.
Tua, for example, I know that the Dolphins kind of cooled off, but they was arguing should Tua be in this argument, and I was saying value what Tyreek Hill brought to that team, and the production we got from Tua is because of the addition of Tyreek Hill. But it just depends on what you're valuing, and the quarterback gets the most value, even though they might not have the most value to a team.
Yeah, how do you define valuable to the team? That's essentially the debate is how do you define value? So there it is. Let us know what you think. It's an interesting topic. I like Throw us in the chats if you want. That's all I got for this evening. Thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. Everybody in the chats, everybody watching, we appreciate you. One love. We'll see you next week.
Can I get a shout out in?
I got, of course you can.
I was wondering. Hey, I was just about to ask you when we went off camera.
I
ain't heard no birthday shout outs.
It's
nothing
not to change the somber moment, but it's that time of the year for me. If we are closing the show right now, I just wanted to. It's coming up on 14 years of the day I had quote unquote lost my mom. So I just want to say shout out to my mom Dukes. Again, I do the show for you. That's debatable for my parents. This is just something I want to just carry on and bring light to their name and to our name as a family and what I stand for. So just shout out to my mom Dukes. Shout out to my family, Big Sis. I see you. This is another episode of That's Debatable. See you guys next week, which will be the Christmas episode. You almost hit it, but next week could be the Christmas episode, right?
It's always Christmas around here.
Hey, man, because we just keep on giving. Shout out to That's Debatable.